You've mentioned that colleges are like indoctrination camps.
When you have professors who are saying to certain students, hey, leave class early because I think you're going to get beat up for your viewpoints. That's not okay. We can have differences of opinion, but we can stand there and we don't have to fight about it. That is what we need to preserve. So I think political violence has to be called out every single time. That is the type of stuff that we need to be doing in showing not just America, but the rest of the world that we are united, that we're one team, we're one mission, we're Americans first.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Madison,
Hey.
and I'm a finance and economics student at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Oh, good Floridian.
Yes.
Love that.
And I love college. You know, I think that it's something that changed my life. I wouldn't be the same person without it.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that colleges are like indoctrination camps. What kind of message are you trying to send to that? And do you think it might alienate the people who are really making a difference in their college career?
No, so I think it depends on your experience,
Yeah.
certainly. I mean, I'm the campus free speech caucus chair. I
Yeah.
believe that that's where we should debate ideas, have these really, really robust conversations where difference of opinions come to light. But when you have to pull permits in order to speak your mind, to have a debate, when you have professors who are saying to certain students, hey, leave class early because I think you're going to get beat up for your viewpoints, when people are feeling intimidated, harassed, hazed, because they have one political viewpoint, that's not okay. That's not the experience that someone wants to have at college. And I remember so vividly, my brother was serving overseas, and there was a traveling memorial to all of the men and women who had lost their life in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I went and I signed the wall, because you were supposed to go and sign the wall and leave a message of support. And a person came up right behind me and wrote, "There, you are all baby killers, and I hope you die." And it was really a tough moment for me to stand there and watch someone write that right next to my message.
Yeah.
But I looked at her, she looked at me, and that was the recognition that that is the America that we are fighting for, where we can have differences of opinion, but we can stand there and we don't have to fight about it, but we can have completely different views about something. But that is what we need to preserve. And what I've seen in the last couple of years is a shutting down of one side, and that's what we're trying to defeat.
I love that answer. I totally agree with you. I think I'm very fortunate where I go to school at Florida Gulf Coast.
It's a great school.
It's held down very well. You know, we don't have any violence there. If there ever is a protest, it's very peaceful and minimal. And I think that we welcome both sides, but there's always that one side that gets shut out.
Yeah.
So I have a couple other questions.
Sure. Well, I got a question for you. What are you majoring in?
Finance.
Okay, finance, and then are you minoring in?
Minoring in economics.
I minored in economics.
So economics is more fun for me than the finance stuff because I get to critically think more. But then, some of the classes I've taken, econometrics, that one took me out. And then price theory, the theory of prices. I will never forget those two classes, but even though they were my hardest, they were my most fun because I actually had to put in more work rather than just for finance. You memorize some formulas and you go do, or like accounting is so boring. But economics, that is like more macro level.
But we need our
stuff.
CPAs.
Yeah, I know, we do.
Yeah, but
They're
micro's hard.
Yeah.
Micro's hard. I loved macro.
Me too.
The micro, oof.
And the cool thing now is at my school with whatever textbooks we're using, they're starting to put Bitcoin into the macro.
Really?
And I just took a quiz on the way up here that was like, what is a CBDC? And what is, how is Bitcoin a part of this? And I'm just so happy that my last year I could be a part of that,
That is so cool.
It's like I'm taking a blockchain applications class as well. And so it's like the first class, and we don't know if it's going to be taken away or not, because if the teacher says one wrong thing and, parents, if they're getting bad financial advice. So.
Oh, come on, not on blockchain.
I know.
Blockchain's just a digital ledger.
Exactly. So that class has been pretty fun. I did want to ask you about everything with the Charlie Kirk situation. You rightfully called for unity for young people exhausted with constantly fighting for all of their rights that we're supposed to just have. What's one concrete action that you're taking to help de-escalate the situation?
So, and I kind of go back to what I was telling you the story earlier about when I was on college campus back at Metro State, and I was signing the wall for my brother, and then I had a student come up next to me and wrote a completely different message.
Yeah.
So I often talk about how we as citizens should be worthy of the sacrifice that has been made for us on our behalf. People who have given their life. It's always incumbent upon elected leaders to speak in ways that are meaningful, that are sincere, that are meant to better the country as a whole. But we as citizens, so Congresswoman Kat has a responsibility to say one thing, and then as citizen Kat, I have to live that. And I think as citizens, we all have a collective responsibility to be better, because the keyboard warriors, the people who are hiding behind screens, that they drive that division, it's not healthy. It's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of adversaries overseas that would love to see more division within the United States and see us crumble from within. So I think we as citizens have a responsibility to come together and really stop the division and take some looks at what we're doing ourselves. But as leaders, you can't say ridiculous things like calling people fascists and expect there not to be consequences.
Right.
So I think political violence has to be called out every single time.
Yeah.
And that is something that every leader should do, regardless if it's Republican or Democrat. That is a no-brainer. And I don't care if you are a local city commissioner or a member of the United States House of Representatives, you have a responsibility to call out violence and dangerous rhetoric when you see it. And that is something that we can collectively be doing. But then showing up. When we held a vigil for Charlie in the United States Capitol, only 6 of my Democrat colleagues showed up. But I went over to my colleagues, and I'll just point out Debbie Dingell, for example. I went up to Debbie and I hugged her and I said, "Thank you for being here." And she said, "No, this is important." And we stood there next to each other for the entire vigil. That is the type of stuff that we need to be doing and showing not just America, but the rest of the world that we are united, that we're one team, we're one mission, we're Americans first.
That's so awesome. I think that that's a big message for college campuses as well. People have opposing ideas and they won't even talk to you if you have, an American flag, or on the other side, if you have a rainbow flag, just a symbol, they won't talk to you. And I think that we really need to get away from that, because if we're the United States, we're not living that title up to its full potential.
Exactly.
So I think that's a really good answer. The last thing I wanted to ask you is just, being a woman in power, what's any advice you have to a young woman, 20 years old, trying to become a powerful woman like you are?
Don't wait your turn. Don't wait your turn. For whatever reason, and I think this goes back to, this is generations, where women they'll wait to be asked to do something, especially if it's in a professional industry. My advice to young women is don't wait. Lines are for amusement parks and movie theaters. Don't wait in line.
That's awesome.
You need to take your shot when you got it. And don't wait for anyone to ask you. Don't ask for permission. Just do it. And if you fail, you learn a whole heck of a lot more through failure than you do success. And so there is absolutely an equalizer that we all have, and that's time. And so get out there, use your time wisely. Don't ask permission. Just get out there and do it. And make sure you are the hardest worker in the room.
I will. Thank you so much. You're so
Madison.
inspiring.
Thank you.
The future is Bitcoin.